Hi, it's Naomi back with another vlog for you guys. This time I'm going to be talking about The Little Drummer Girl by John le Carre. This is a standalone novel. It is a bit of a thriller. It is also the only book I believe John le Carre has written with a female lead character. And it's not part of his George Smiley series either, which is probably his most well-known set of books. The story actually follows an actress, a jobbing actress in the UK called Charlie, and she is recruited by the Israeli Secret Service to find and track down a bomber named Khalil, who is from Palestine. The book was written in 1983, so something I really wanted to consider whilst I was reading it was that 35 years of Israeli and Palestinian history have elapsed since the book was written. I just thought that was something really important to bear in mind. Although this book feels like quite a difficult read at first, it feels quite pro-Israeli, the treatment actually gets a lot more even-handed as the novel goes on. In fact, I think there's a point where le Carre pulls back this curtain and you find out a lot more about the lives of the Palestinians inside. So yeah, it does get a lot more even as things go on. It was a novel I really enjoyed. It's not one of these fast-paced, read-in-a-day spy thrillers. It requires a lot more attention than that, and that's why I think it really transcends the genre. I mean, I don't know if I would just call this a straight-up thriller. I think this book is as much about the human side of what espionage does to someone who's involved in spying, as it is about the actual case itself. And I think this is particularly apparent with Charlie, because Charlie is an amateur, an outsider. She's not been trained for this for years and years. She doesn't have this background. The only thing she has to rely on is her acting experience. And I think that's what makes this mission so tough for her. And I think you can see that through her relationship with her handler, Joseph, as the novel moves on. It's quite a complex novel. It's intricate in its detail. It's well plotted, it's well thought out. I know some people find the first half of the novel a little slow, but I didn't, and I found it completely necessary in its structure, and this is why. I felt like it was a great character study of Charlie. It was so necessary to prove why a British actress with no connections to Israel or Judaism, if anything, she had been more sympathetic to the Palestinian side of the cause before. There had to be a reason why she would get involved. And I think all of these conversations she had with one of the higher-ups at the Israeli Secret Service, Kurtz, and his team really proved how they could maybe almost like pry someone open and get them to do something for them. There was a lot of psychological games and unethical interrogation tactics in the novel, used both on Charlie and other people, and I think that really made you quite aware of what might be going on in the kind of the underbelly of these organizations. In John le Carre novels, we always deal in shades of grey. He doesn't really do black and white. The situations are never quite clear. In this book, I don't know who I'm supposed to root for. In fact, I think I think it might not be anybody, because it is such a really incredibly difficult conflict to have knowledge about, to write about. Yeah, and it really it plays towards le Carre's tendency to go into those shades of grey. I've actually seen the first episode of the adaptation on television. I'm not sure what I think about it yet. The book is pretty fresh in my mind, so I think I have very set ideals about what I want, and you know, sometimes certain aspects of novels don't work for TV and they do have to make some changes. I'm gonna watch more and I'm gonna see how it goes. I'm hoping they flesh out Charlie's character a little bit more, as she's incredibly feisty in the book, and although I didn't actually like her at first, as the novel went on, I really cared for her, and I really appreciated the mental toll that espionage and counter-espionage was taking on her. It's such a good book. I would, honestly, this is going to be one of my solid recommendations for Christmas this year. It's fantastic. I had a couple of customers actually recommend it to me in the last couple of years, and I can't believe I'm only just getting around to reading it now. That is like the only drawback of being a bookseller. Your list of books that you want to read is way too long. So the other thing I felt about this book was I wanted to go back and reread it almost as soon as I'd finished it, which I thought was really interesting. It's not really a feeling I've ever sort of felt before. I just felt that there would be more nuances that I've probably missed. I actually maybe will listen to the audiobook instead. I think that might be an interesting thing, and to obviously watch along with the TV show as well. And it's funny that I said that I wanted to go back and reread it, because I was looking up a little bit about the book, and apparently John Grisham finds this book incredibly inspirational, and he rereads it every few years as well, because he says it inspires him to be better. So I thought that was a really interesting point, thought I would include that. Yeah, and I think if you're a fan of authors like Eric Ambler, Martin Cruz Smith, who is one of my favourites, and Len Dayton is probably another one, then this would be an excellent book for you to dive into. I think if you give this book the time and attention that it requires, the payoff is so incredibly high. And out of all the John le Carré books I've read, this is probably up there. It's probably a tie between this one and The Spy Who Came In From the Cold. I don't know which one I prefer. They're both quite different, actually. But yeah, up in my top two. So thank you very much for listening to me today. If you want to hear more from me, more from the other vloggers, or more from Waterstones in general, then please do subscribe to our channel, and I'll see you next time. Okay, bye-bye.